Good morning, brothers and sisters. You attract what you think. What you think translates to what you do and what you say. What you do and what you say is really what defines you as a person. Your actions and the things you speak, the things that come out of your mouth. Those are the two things that really define who you are when nobody's looking, when it's easy to slack off, when it's easy to take the path of least resistance. That's truly what defines you, and that's truly what makes you you. When you start to get a reputation of the person who doesn't hold true to their word, who doesn't follow through, who doesn't back up word with action, it's a very hard character trait to break and to change. And when people start saying this to you, you're going to start believing it yourself, and you're going to start acting in a way that somebody who actually doesn't keep their word would. It started with letting down one person, yourself, and then from there, you started letting down others, and that ripple effect causes you to spiral into a place where your whole life you could have been somebody who always shows up on time, always does extra, never complains, and then all of a sudden you're showing up late, you're leaving early whenever you get the chance, you're doing the bare minimum, maybe even less than the bare minimum. And this can be anything, guys: work, relationships, in the gym, with your diet, with your sleep. At the end of the day, it really does. All disappointment starts with first letting yourself down and disappointing yourself, not following through with something you said you were going to do. And it can be as simple as, I'm going to wake up early tomorrow. And from this point on, starting tomorrow morning, I'm just going to be somebody who wakes up early. Oh, but then tomorrow morning comes and that alarm goes off. Doesn't even matter what time you specified, because if you've been waking up at 10 a.m., starting to wake up at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. is a huge improvement. Even 9 a.m., 9:30. Small steps, right? 30 minutes earlier every single week, slowly ease into it. Then all of a sudden you're somebody who's waking up at 6 a.m. But, you tell yourself you're going to do that. Even if you don't tell anybody else and you never follow through, not even once, you let yourself down. And that is the biggest tragedy of all, is letting ourselves down and convincing ourselves slowly over time with the actions that we take and the words that we do not fulfill, slowly over time, poisoning our brains into thinking that, we're lazy and we can't get that done and we can't figure that out. We'll just wait for somebody else to come along who's better and smarter and knows more. And somebody who's born to do it is going to come along anyways, and they'll be able to do it way better than I can. And all these excuses that build up, all because we let ourselves down in small moments throughout our entire lifetime. We don't stick true to our word. We don't adhere to the promises, to the contracts that we've signed with ourselves. And brothers and sisters, hear me out for a moment. If we can't even fulfill promises that we make to ourselves, how do we ever expect to fulfill promises that we make to other people? Their expectations for us are changing every moment. That's just life, man. The target is always going to move. The target is never going to be fixed. It'll be fixed the whole time you're staring at it. The whole time you're thinking about, what should I do? How should I take care of this? What's the best plan of attack? It stays still. And then you think you have a great plan. Then all of a sudden, the second you try and take a step, that target goes flying all over the place and it's zooming around the room. A potato flew around my room. But if you can't even fulfill the promises you make to yourself, because you should be able to hold the targets that you make for yourself pretty still, right? You say, hey, I'm going to start working out. I'm going 3 days a week for 45 minutes, starting now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Boom. You can keep that target completely still. But the issue is it was a long day today. It was a real Monday today. And getting out of work like 30 minutes late. And I'll just go tomorrow. I'll just go 2 days in a row instead. Don't do that shit. Don't move your target. Don't move your target, because once you move it once, you're going to keep fucking moving it and you won't stop moving it. You'll keep moving it so that the path of least resistance seems like the only real option to take at the moment. Oh, man, I'm so tired. Oh, but I had a good week. I showed up to work. I put in the effort. I hit all my workouts. Now I'm on the way home from the gym on Friday. I feel amazing. So I'm going to stop at McDonald's. No, don't do that. I'm yelling at myself. I'm yelling at my younger self that I really, really, really wish would have locked in and understood sooner. But at the end of the day, we all have our own paths. We all have our own journeys. We're all on different timelines. We're all going to arrive at the place that we need to be at different moments in our lives, and we can't do anything to change that. If we try and force it, if we try and take shortcuts, life is just going to come back around and smack us on the back of the head harder than we ever thought it could. We just got to be patient. We just got to stick the course. We just got to do the things that we know are going to pay off in the long term. If you constantly cave to short-term pleasure, immediate gratification, I'm just going to be straight up brutally honest. When you're 40, 50, 60 years old, you are going to fucking despise life, and you are going to spew hatred towards everybody and everything. And you're going to realize that while you were, indulging in all that instant gratification, and the whole time you were never working out, you were never thinking about, what do I really want out of life? What do I truly enjoy doing? Those are the things that we need to focus on. I know there's people out there who, when you've been doom scrolling on whatever app of your choice, or you've been binging a show on Netflix for 12 hours straight all day long, like, I know for a fact there is something gnawing at you in the back of your mind. Like, why the fuck are we just sitting here wasting life? But I get it, because you don't really know like how to break it, how to get out of that cycle, because you're so addicted and dependent on that shit. Vapes, doom scrolling, alcohol, drugs. Guys, I understand, because I was there. I've been there. I broke out of it. I used to average like 2-3 hours of screen time on TikTok a day. I used to watch so much TV. Stop worrying for a second about things that you think matter, because your whole life, people around you, family members, friends, have all cared about these things. So you think that you should also care about them. You decide what you want to focus on in your life. And yeah, if you really love sports, if you really love watching the Minnesota Vikings, which, hey, I still do. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'll still tune in from time to time, but try and cut the strings of the unhealthy parts of those like associations that you have with these hobbies and habits. Like, especially stuff where we're just watching and consuming, where we're not really doing a whole lot of creating. It's okay, 100%, especially too if you've been a lifelong fan, you grew up in that state, whatever, or like maybe a family member played for the team or worked for the team or knew a player at some point, whatever. That's a big fucking off branching there. Chase real dopamine, motherfuckers. Okay, go outside, go for a run when it's raining, go for a run when it's storming, go for a run in a blizzard. Okay, go work out extremely hard. Work out to the point where your DOMS from leg day is going to make it so you're struggling to walk for the next 2 to 3 days. Because guess what? Then you're going to appreciate being at 100%. And you know what? Over time, you keep doing that shit, you're going to look fucking sick too. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of people out there who say, oh, well, I don't want to get jacked. I don't care about looking good. Blah, blah, blah. It's not even about looking jacked. Your inspiration needs to be deeper than that. That's really superficial. That's very surface level. I feel like shit. My energy levels are low. I have a ton of brain fog. My back hurts. My knees hurt. My everything hurts. I know for a fact I eat like shit. I don't get regular physical activity. I want to feel better. I know I need to work out, and I know I need to learn how to eat healthier. I want this shit. I want to live a different life. That's a fucking reason. Maybe you have a history of cardiovascular disease in your family. That's a really fucking good reason to be very, very dedicated and obsessed with working out and getting your physical activity and eating very healthy. Oh, I just want to look good for the beach. Oh, I want to fuck bitches. Shut the fuck up, you weirdos. That's so superficial. And, I can come off as a little harsh or crass, but I'm just trying to say in my own way, like, you need a deeper reason. You can't just have some superficial reason, because more than likely you're going to fall off within the first 1 to 3 months, and you're going to be frustrated, and you're going to end up with a pretty bad relationship towards the gym because, you didn't go at it for the right reasons, and you probably weren't fully informed on, how to make the best progress possible, and also how to, continue eating in a healthy way while you're trying to lose weight and all these different things. You need to have a deeper reason for anything in life. Everybody says, I want to be rich. I want to be a millionaire, but nobody says how they're going to do it. What value are you going to provide? How are you going to provide that value? And maybe you don't actually have that value yet. How are you going to learn that skill? How are you going to acquire that knowledge to be able to provide that value to the people you said you wanted to provide that value to? You hear me? Do you understand me? You can't just sit there and say, one day, God, I will be rich. Amen. That's a great start, but you need a fucking plan, brother. So something to chew on, something to think about. I'm really just here to pass on my message. And if you don't agree with it, you don't have to be here. It's simple as that. Thank you for checking this one out, guys. I truly appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.